Hey guys, listen to Baha. So what we're going to do today is we are going to talk about loadouts real quick. Just a quick how-to guide for anyone who's going to be getting on in the next couple of hours after work or when you're getting up, blah blah blah. So basically, by now we should know a lot more loadouts, how efficient they are, how much easier they are. There is some stuff you need to work out before you do Eden. Please keep in mind you have 120 spaces in your bag now, so I would take advantage of that because we now don't need to have massive amounts of mods. We only need essentially 15. And that's 5 for stamina, 5 for firearms, 5 for electronics, right? So you don't really need to have like hundreds of them kicking about anymore, which does save space. Really does save space on it, right? So what the first thing to do is when you log in, you'll have your obviously your build, right? What you want to do is you want to kind of like set up everything you've kind of got or everything you want to use on that build. This is an example build, don't worry about it, it's nothing special. And once you've done that, you want to go to your part here and you're just going to want to essentially press square, right? So once you've done that, you'll have your setup, right? So this is the screen, your overlay screen is still the one you want to be using to change between different builds, okay? So you can change, you won't change manually, you can change between different sets, different loadouts. This is what I'm talking about the mods. You don't have to have like infinite amount of mods anymore. You can have 5 of each, and when you're changing over, just unremove these mods, and then you can use them for a different build. Like say you put this one on, and then you put on that one and that one. Both firearms, you go to that and you can automatically change, or you can press override. Don't want to do that in this occasion. A couple of things to note is that when you do make loadouts, make sure to change your talents and your skills, because whatever you've got equipped at that time will also port over. So we might look out for that just a little bit. Make sure you're obviously like checking what skill you've got on what talent. As you can see there, most of them are all the same. There is sort of variations at the bottom, different things for different builds, the things like that. You really want to sort of maximise your sort of like your time on using loadouts, because you don't want to be going back and forth and changing things. You really want to sit down and just look at them. Okay. So changing over is quite easy, quite simple. Just change over, right? One of the things you want to be doing, we're looking for, is when you change over to different pieces of armor, right? So when you've got it, the best way to describe it is when you set your loadout, right? When it comes to the part that you want to change something from that loadout, right? So say I want to put this one on right here, right? So it's 928. Right, so I go back to my loadouts, and I've been playing with that, but I want to change to say my Alpha Bridge, right? So I've got my Alpha Bridge on. I've been playing with that for a wee while. I want to go back to being Firecrest, right? So I go back to Firecrest, but again, that mod, that one I was playing with, the new one, hasn't changed. Okay. So what you want to do to change these things on the sort of go is simply click on it, go back to your loadout, override, which is hold square. Now that will save that piece of armor as being the one in the slot now. Okay, so you don't have to really worry about it, which means you can technically use the same set of gloves for different sort of builds, by all means. But if you want to use separate ones, you can do that also. But you'll see there it says in the top right hand corner, just to be sort of like a sort of infinity sign type thing. That'll tell you that that has been locked. Okay. So what I want to do is just put this back on again, and just go back to that and press square. Okay, so that's as simple as that. Quite straightforward. So what kind of like things we ought to look for is when you're changing over stuff, especially, be careful, because because it's got a wee sign on it. It doesn't like mean that you can actually like not delete them. You still can dismantle them. So I would be very careful and holding the right analog stick down will lock things. It's not one of the newer features from one of the last patches, so it's a good idea to have that on your stuff you're using essentially. And basically get rid of all your crap that you don't need. Things you thought that might be relevant could be a case of it's just not going to be now. So I would obviously take some time to sort of sit there, delete all your insufficient mods. Anything that's not really a brilliant mod, you don't need it anymore. You can just delete them all. I will be going through these today, sort of sorting out my inventory, getting it back down to a sort of like below 50 type thing there, but this is ideal situation to do so I would recommend taking time to do that. The loadouts themselves are pretty easy. You can't change them when you're in combat, you cannot change them when your skills are on cooldown, so essentially the best way to describe it is you could change from being a skill build to being a DPS build a lot faster than you'll change from being a DPS build to a tactician, purely because of the way the skills cool down. Just to note though, that I generally think this is a good idea, but at the same time, having looked at it today, I was thinking to myself that 4-man team are now going to be harder to kill in a DZ by using this, because if they go out of range for longer than a couple of seconds, like you could essentially go up against a team that are DPS centric, right? And everyone could be like battling each other. And the way it was before was a 4-man team would be good until you learned what they were using, right? But now with this sort of setup, is that you could start off a fight with 4v4, and the two guys could be using Firecrest, and four could be using, like two other two could be using like Alpha Bridge, right? Or Deadeye, right? And then you come back after like 5 minutes, then they've finally got some distance. They could turn out to be using like 4 tacticians in that space of time. It would literally take no time at all to change over to these different builds. So the team dynamics is all going to change really quickly, and that's something that's going to be a new sort of thing, a fresh thing for the DZ. It's going to be more team dynamic based, and it's going to be interesting to see how people are working with these things and how teams will change their dynamics on the go. So say someone's getting shot by something, like what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tactician build that specialises in disrupt and healing, and that's something that I'm going to work towards, because it's obviously more fire quests. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a sort of healer base where they've got a support station that can nullify the effects of these turrets, and then obviously EMP to actually knock them out completely. And also dismantle the fact that other players can use their skills within that time period. So you see, there's going to be some changes there. I think that's always worth noting. That this is a good change, but at the same time, it's going to come with some funky side effects, I think. But anyway, I will leave a comment in on the thing if you like. I will be on most of the day today, so I'll be trial running them as much as possible. Just keep in mind that when you do change over your loadouts, your ammo does not change. So if you're not near an ammo box and say you went from like a DPS build that's got 1,600 ammo, and then you change to your skill build, you're going to have 800 ammo if you don't have ammo capacity on your backpack and your chest piece. Then if you change back to your DPS build, you're going to lose half your ammo in the process, so it's always good to kind of keep that in mind. Okay, well anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed, and catch you later.